Hello everyone, Cercion here. How are you all doing today? Welcome to the first episode of my 100% playthrough of DragonQuest XI. Now, before we begin the playthrough proper, I believe some explanations are in order. So, by 100% playthrough, I mean opening every single treasure chest, filling out the bestiary, obtaining one of every item in the game if possible, and completing all the content this game has to offer, which means completing every single side quest and earning every single accolade. With all that out of the way, let our adventure begin. We begin our journey proper talking to our hometown sweetheart Gemma while on our way to climb the cobblestone tour for our coming of age ceremony. However, before we can even begin our ascent, we're accosted by a truly horrifying presence. 3 whole slimes. Unfortunately for these gelatinous gangsters, I not only have that dog in me, but also beside me, so they're dealt with post-haste, awarding me with a guaranteed medical herb for my efforts. Before making our way into the caverns ahead, we can take a leisurely stroll behind this monument in order to find a chest containing a pot lid, which we can equip to give us a bit more defense, as well as an increased chance to block oncoming attacks. I take a few moments to switch my battle mode to classic before running through every enemy on my way to the mountain's peak, leveling up to level 2 in the process before engaging with the only other enemy in this dungeon, a needler. It's here that I'll mention that pretty much every single monster has both a common and rare drop in this game. In the case for slimes, it's a slime drop, and for needlers, it's a lamb's wool. The difference between a common and rare drop actually dropping depends entirely on what monster you're facing. In the needler's case, it's a 1 in 32% chance for a common drop and a 1 in 128% chance for a rare drop. And for the slimes, it's a 1 in 32% chance both ways. I'm saying all this because by the end of this episode, I want at least one of both of these items in my inventory. Anyways, on our ascent, we can take this little side path to find both a medical herb and 5 gold coins hidden within 2 breakable pots, along with a chunk of copper ore hiding in a crack in the walls past this torch. Once we're out of the monster-infested caverns, we're jumped by 2 smogs who are easy to take out as long as Gemma remembers to heal us. These smogs do have a drop chance, but for a multitude of reasons, I won't be pursuing them, and you'll see why later. Before progressing any further, you can turn around to find a piece of pink pine sitting behind a tree near the cavern's exit. Upon reaching the mountain's peak, we're treated to a cutscene wrought with danger and triumph, after which we can turn around to find a second piece of pink pine sitting beside a tree before being teleported down the mountain to the applause of our fellow townsfolk. Once we're in cobblestone proper, we head straight over to the church to save our game before beginning our ransacking spree to acquire the many items hidden around our village. Starting with the church itself, we can head left of the altar to find an antidotal herb hidden within a breakable barrel. We can then find a cypress stick hidden in a chest behind the house just up the road, along with a medical herb both in a barrel in front of the house and on its roof. We can find 6 gold coins in a barrel beside the church, along with another antidotal herb in a breakable pot near the house north of the item shop. You can find a shed just east of that same house with another breakable pot containing 5 gold coins, along with a piece of pink pine on the roof of the neighboring house. On the roof of your house's storage shed, you can find 50 gold coins within a chest, along with a flurry feather we'll need for later. Just beside our house, we can find a jug of fresh water by the waterfall, along with a breakable barrel containing 10 gold coins just behind our house. Finally, within the house at the foot of the waterfall is a breakable barrel containing 6 gold coins, along with another breakable barrel behind the item shop containing 2 more gold coins. Wrangling in our ransacking rodeo, we enter our abode and are told by our mother that we're the child of prophecy, something our childhood friend Gemma doesn't take too kindly. Before escaping what's essentially this game's tutorial, there's still a few things left for us to do. Starting within our home, we can find a medical herb within a breakable barrel, along with a set of plain clothes in the dresser and 10 gold coins within a breakable pot in the attic. We can also talk to this guy with a purple dot above his head to begin our first of many optional quests. Luckily, all we have to do is hand him the flurry feather we found yesterday to complete this one, but believe me, not all of them are gonna be this simple. After that, we can head inside the village shop to buy ourselves a bandana and a set of wayfarer's clothes for a bit more defense before heading southeast into the village storehouse to find a chunk of copper ore, 7 gold coins, and an agility seed within some breakable pots and barrels. We're then forced to say goodbye to everyone, including the mayor, who asks us to put in a friendly nod towards our hometown of Cobblestone to the King of Heliodor, someone who will undoubtedly bequeath untold benevolence to the kind people who raised the luminary. This farewell ceremony includes receiving a necklace from our mother, a map of Erdria from the mayor, and a good luck charm from Gemma. However, upon leaving our village, we do an immediate 180 and head southwards towards the gate to the Cobblestone Tor. Along our path, we can head left to find a breakable pot with 11 gold coins, along with a breakable barrel near the river with 4 more gold coins. To the right of the path, we can find a storeroom behind which is a breakable barrel holding a piece of pink pine. Finally, to close off our hidden item roundup, we can take a right after crossing the scaffolding within the Cobblestone Tor cavern to find a medical herb atop this little grove. Now, for the fun part. Remember how I said I wanted to get the rare drops from all the monsters in this area? Yeah, I'd like to go back in time and personally slap myself in the back of the head for daring to suggest that. Now, the slime drop was relatively easy to obtain, only taking a total of 35 slimes to drop. But the lamb's wool? Oh boy, that put up a fight. I ended up leveling up a grand total of 6 times while trying to farm this item before I finally decided enough was enough and switched my adventure to 2D mode back at the Cobblestone Church. This did mean I would have to go through the intro all over again, but it's a fair trade-off to have the needler spawn so more frequently. On the topic of 2D mode, all the items we found in 3D mode can be found here, just in slightly different locations. For example, the pot lid we found behind the Cobblestone Tor monument in 3D mode can be found within the mountain's caverns here. The only exception I found to this was the exclusion of the jug of fresh water from the waterfall by your house, but the inclusion of a rare chance to find a dollop of horse manure from the stables within Cobblestone Village. But with that said, that's gonna be it for this video. Before leaving, I have a few more parting points to go over. 1. I did try to get the drops from the smogs within the Cobblestone Tor, however, each attempt took roughly 6.5 minutes to try, which just wasn't worth the effort in my opinion. 2. While farming for a single lamb's wool, I was able to amass a lot more slime drops from defeating a few slime in the process, including here where I somehow got a back-to-back slime drop, which is a 0.06% chance of happening. And finally, my ending achievements for this episode is 3 monsters categorized in the bestiary and 8 accolades earned. If you made it to this point in the video, then thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a great rest of your day.
It just goes on and on and on.